I'm Andrew Phillips and welcome to my channel. Today I'm going to show you how to replace the faucet in your bathroom. So let's go ahead and get started. This is what we're going to be taking off here. You can see this thing is definitely in need of being trashed. It's leaking, corroded, outdated, just a total mess here. So we're going to swap that out for something more modern and classier. To complete this, what you're going to need is your replacement faucet. Next, you're going to need a 16mm wrench, and that's for tightening where the braided flex hose connects to the actual water valve. You're also going to need an adjustable groove pliers, set of those for attaching the other end where that braided line will connect to the faucet itself here onto the copper ends. A scraper is good, so you can clean off any residue that's left behind from the old faucet after you remove it. And then a flathead screwdriver also comes in handy if you need just some assistance prying off some of the gaskets from the drains or anything like that as we take all that off. So now that we've identified all these components, let's go ahead and start removing this old faucet so we can get this project completed. Let's head underneath here and let's go ahead and take a look at what needs to be removed so we can start detaching everything. First thing you want to do is you want to shut off both your water lines, the hot and cold water. So let's go ahead and we'll turn that clockwise all the way, tighten that. Let's do the other one. Now that the water lines have been shut off, we can take our 16mm wrench and we can start releasing where the copper pipes are connected to the valves here. Those are 16mm. So we're going to go ahead and take this now, loosen those off. That way we can unscrew them and then we can start removing the actual faucet so we can lift that out of there. Once you get that initial bond loosened, you can pretty much undo the rest of it by hand. Now that the copper lines have been loosened, next thing we need to do is come up under here, and you can see right there, that's what's holding the faucet in place. You have those two right there, and then the one over here. Depending on the brand that you have in place, the attachments could be different, but for the most part, they're going to be coming in at those 2 points there, and you're just going to have to loosen those. I'm going to go ahead and unbolt these. As you can see, they're pretty rusted, look pretty rough. We're going to go ahead and loosen them and get them out of there, and that's pretty much what's holding the faucet in place. Once they're removed, then we should be able to pull that up out of there. Next, we need to detach this drain lever so that can slide out. So you just take this, slide that off that rod right there. And that's pretty, you're just taking off this clip here. So now this is hanging freely and we can pull the faucet up. Let's loose. Give it a good pull because we need to, there we go, get the copper lines out. Let's pull that up. See all the junk here. That's where the scraper's going to come in handy. We'll clean all that off. Using our scraper, I'm going to go ahead and scrape all this off. Clear all that off. With all of this cleaned off now, we're going to go ahead and use some strong cleaner with some bleach in it. Just kind of spray that down real good. Wipe that down. Obviously there's some staining and discolorization on there. That's not too big of an issue because the new faucet is going to cover pretty much that whole area, but we still want to clean it as best as we can. So all that sprayed down with the bleach cleaner. Just kind of go over it, clean it real good. All the residue has been scraped off, so that's good. Next, we're going to go ahead and remove this drain. So let's get underneath so we can go ahead and unscrew everything, pull that out, and then we'll be able to unscrew the flange right here from the sink itself, and that'll take that whole drain assembly out. In order to pull the drain assembly out, we need to get rid of this drain assembly rod right here. So what we're going to have to do is loosen the pipe so we can turn it, and then we'll be able to unscrew this rod assembly out from this drain pipe itself. That way we'll be able to pull that out straight. So let's go ahead, we're going to loosen this. That's where we're going to use our adjustable pliers. Go ahead and get a grip on here. There we go. We'll do the rest by hand. So that'll loosen that. And now, let's go underneath and I'll show you there is a large nut going all the way up holding that tight. We need to loosen that next so that way we can free this up. Following up here, you have this nut right here, so let's go ahead and connect to that. We can loosen that with our adjustable pliers. And let's see, might be able to, there we go. Bring that all the way down. And with that now out of the way, now we can rotate this. And then we can bring this drain assembly rod to where we can, you can see it's kind of threaded here, so you can grab that. We'll go ahead and put the pliers on that as well and loosen that up. And get a grip on these. That comes out. It's disgusting, but at least it's out of the way. So then now we need to just go ahead and move this up so we can then undo the flange, and then we can pull this down, slide that out of the way, pop that out. Now that we've removed the drain lever, the rod or whatever alpha here, you'll see that there's a gasket up here. That needs to be removed. That's what kind of wedges up into the sink to create a seal between the flange and this lower end here. So that's where we're just going to use the flathead screwdriver and just kind of go up in here. Just pull that down. You just got to take some time, work that out. I'm going to go ahead and start pulling that down and we'll be back. Now that we've released the gasket underneath, we have the flexibility now, some play in here to raise that enough so we can get a grip on the flange. We'll take our pliers, get a good grip on it, and just, there we go, start turning it. That is threaded, so you're turning it counterclockwise. There we are. See if I can get it by hand. There we go. These can be very tough sometimes, so you may have to work with it, but you can see the gunk and crap all over that. That can become a problem. And then now that slides down and we're able to pull it out underneath. You can see here, still can't get it low enough. So what you're going to do is you're going to take this part of the PVC where we went ahead and loosened it. You're going to go ahead and retighten it, because as we go down, it's enabling this pipe to drop lower. And that'll get it just below the line, as we can see right here. And now you can just take this pipe, slide it, rotate it over. So now you've got the clearance here So now we can go ahead and loosen it. And we can pull that out. And there you are. This filthy thing has been removed. As we did up here, we're going to clean all this gunk off here. Just go ahead and use your scraper, scrape all that junk off of there. And then when it's done, I'm also going to hit it with the same cleaner that we used to get it all nice and clean before we drop the new flange in. So I'm going to go ahead and clean all this, get it all prepped, and we'll be back. Everything has been cleaned out. We went ahead and cleaned it and wiped it down with the bleach and cleaner. So all the former locations now are all nice and clear. We're ready to start installing the new. So let's go ahead and get the sink out. We'll go ahead and put the faucet in first, and then we'll put in the drain assembly, and then we'll go ahead and turn on the water and make sure that nothing's leaking and everything's good to go, and that'll wrap this up. First thing we're going to do is we're going to take this, I guess it's a base plate, to be honest I'm not sure what it's called, but on this particular one it's just like a plastic gasket or some kind of seal that goes between the faucet and the actual porcelain itself. Then we're going to take the new faucet, insert it like this, make sure that it's nice and level on this little plate. Then we're going to go ahead and adjust it, make sure it's nice and center. And then we're going to head underneath with these plastic nuts or rings and tighten them from underneath to secure that. Go ahead and tighten these. Tighten them by hand, as tight as you can get them. There we go. And then if you want, you can come afterwards with a set of pliers. Be careful so you don't break off the grooves on it, but you can go ahead and tighten them a little bit more if you want, but don't over tighten them. Alright, next we're ready to connect the braided flex hose to it. The particular ones I'm using here, they're actually colored blue and red for hot and cold. I don't know if all of them are like that. So let's go ahead and open these up. And I'm going to get a close-up here. You do not want to use plumber's tape when connecting these by applying that on the threads as you would with other connections when you're dealing with plumbing. These particular ones, they have rubber gaskets inside that will make the seal once they make the contact, so you want to keep the threads clean and clear. That way they can thread properly and make the correct contact. So let me get a close-up of that, then we'll head underneath and connect all this up to the valves. You can see here on the inside, right there, you can see the rubber gasket going around the line right there. That's what's going to make the contact. And then here on the other side, I'll show you on this one too, same thing. You can see the rubber going around the copper right there. So that'll make the contact as well. This end going to the actual water valve, this end here connecting up to the faucet. We're going to go ahead and hand screw onto the faucet. We're going to come back later with the adjustable pliers and tighten it, but you want to make sure that you do not over tighten either one of these. So we're going to go ahead and tighten it by hand as far as it'll go. There we go. Next we're going to connect onto this one. Next we're going to connect onto this one here. Same thing. Just go ahead and hand tighten that. Hand tighten it as far as it'll go. There we go. Next we're going to go ahead and get the 16mm wrench. And now we're going to tighten it, but as I just mentioned, we are not going to over tighten it. And let's see here. See if I can get a grip on it here. Next, we're ready to install the drain assembly, so we're going to go ahead and unscrew the flange. Set that there. And then we have this tightening nut that goes underneath the sink, along with this rubber gasket. So we're going to go ahead and pull those off. Or actually not pull them off, but slide them down. So that way we can get underneath and slide them up. Here we go. Let's head underneath and attach that to the PVC piping and feed that up through the drain. We're going to go ahead and take the new drain assembly, insert it in here into the PVC pipe, let it go all the way down in. Let's see here. Let's see if we can get that all the way in there. There we go. So now we can slide this around, drop this down, slide that around, level it right here in the middle, and then we can put that all the way up. We'll go ahead and feed this rubber gasket all the way up there so we can get a good seal. Then we'll go ahead and tighten this. I'm going to get it all the way up in there so we get a nice tight fit. Feed that up through here. Let's go up top. We'll connect the flange to it. Once that's sealed, then we can go ahead and push this gasket up into place, tighten all this up, tighten down here, and we should be good to go. Go ahead and hold it from underneath. Hold it from underneath. We're going to go ahead and screw the flange on. Get it nice and tight. There we go. So now we can then pull that down, and then we'll tighten it underneath, and it'll make a good connection there between the two. Go ahead and slide all this up here. Start tightening this. Go ahead and tighten this. Gotta get it real tight. You'll see the rubber seal there is being pressed into place. It needs to be extremely snug. So once we get this in place, we may hit it with the pliers as well. Because you need it to have a good bond. Everything is tight here, so we're going to go ahead and tighten where it goes into the PVC piping. Get that nice and tight as well. Make sure everything is straight. And I think I'm even going to hit it with a little bit with these pliers here. Just to, there we go, just to ensure. That's good. Okay, let's go ahead and turn it on, see how it goes. Hot water, let it run it out. Good. Let's try cold. Clear out the pipes on that one too. Nice. You go ahead and leave the water running. Let's go underneath and take a look, make sure there's no leaks coming from anywhere. Everything looks nice and dry there. Here as well. Down at the cold line looks good. No leaks or anything coming off the drain here. Everything looks good. Okay, well that pretty much wraps up this video on how to replace a bathroom faucet and the drain assembly. I hope this video helped you out. Please send me any questions, any comments. I would love to hear from you. As always, I appreciate all the support. So please like the video, subscribe to this channel, and I'll see you next time.